Remember how I said I'm not gonna make another video about Valko's cancellation unless InFold themselves release an official statement? Well, they haven't made any official statement yet, but a lot has been happening since my last video, so I think I need to address some of the new developments. Hi, I'm Arya Luna, and welcome to my channel. I make reviews, commentaries, and video essays, but recently I branched out to cover otome game content, particularly Love and Deepspace, ever since they announced their new character Valko. And then I started following everything that took place after his cancellation. In this video, I want to do a quick recap of everything that has happened since the events I covered in the last video from a few weeks ago, followed by the latest development that has started changing the discourse a little bit, and then I'd give you guys my personal opinion regarding the whole situation. I posted my last video immediately after the version 6.0 dropped on 9th of July, 3 weeks ago. Since then, particularly starting from around July 15th, there was a positive change in the narrative from the end of Chinese official sources that brought a lot of hope to global players. We got two articles, one from Sina Esports and the other published by a regional newspaper in China that focused on the global player base and their efforts to bring Valko back to the game. These are both news media platforms that are backed by the Chinese government. They were really significant since they not only recognized the global players' efforts to peacefully protest against Valko's cancellation and bring him back, but also acknowledged the importance of the global player bases for Chinese games like Love and Deepspace with an international player community. This is huge. The articles, of course, talked about the petitions and change.org petitions, fan creations, charity donations to wildlife conservation, cosplays and offline events organized by players at Anime Expo, etc. It also, however, published stats to show how much the global players also contribute to the game. The Sina Esports article writes that more than 40% of the players' spending came from outside China. The game has topped the App Store bestseller list in more than 40 countries and regions and has received more than 80 million downloads worldwide. This is crucial information for changing the narrative. Just a disclaimer, of course, that I'm reading automatic translations by Google Translate of these articles originally in Chinese. So please keep in mind that some things might get lost in translation. Apart from that, there was another article about player or consumer voices on social media and how Chinese enterprises need to be careful about reading them at face value. This was huge, even though it doesn't appear to be the case at first glance. They used the negative opinions of players of Love and Deepspace online as an example and cautioned people about how it can prove impossible to separate constructive feedback from comments made with malicious intent. They also talk about organized posting and troll behavior and how difficult it is to recognize and determine. So companies need to be mindful of this type of social media posting. They say, and I quote, whether it constitutes cyber trolls, malicious hype, or other violations of laws or regulations, they should ultimately be investigated and determined by the platform and relevant departments in accordance with the law. Events thus present two simultaneous clues to the facts. On the one hand, players raise real questions around product planning, content arrangements, and user communication. On the other hand, part of the discussion goes beyond specific product issues and evolves into an overall labeled evaluation of businesses, creators, and ordinary players. This is great because this article had the potential to change public opinion in a positive direction, hinting at the possibility of a smear campaign against InFold. And then there was a segment produced and aired by by CCTV News, which is the official government national television network. It was focused on gacha otome games in general, their predatory monetary practices, and more importantly, the lack of screening during player logins and registrations, which allowed minors to misuse the system and log in using adult IDs, etc. Now, LADS is an 18+ game in China and the biggest one in the otome market. So they used a case study of a certain Miss Yue whose 13-year-old daughter had used her ID card to register to Love and Deepspace. She had even managed to spend, quote, nearly 30,000 yuan in total in the in-game purchases. Now, this segment had nothing to do with Valko, but it highlighted a major problematic aspect of these games, which can have a major impact on public opinion in China and affect the gacha otome market. As I said, news coming from official sources will have a strong effect on the public opinion. So hopefully, at least on that front, the positive voices coming from the global player base highlighted in the articles can make a difference. There were some other developments on the Chinese social media front, on Red Note, Weibo, etc., where a lot of things had come to light. And this includes some organized attempt at a smear campaign against LADS led by some toxic fans. Now, if you want a detailed breakdown of articles and the social media developments, do check out this comprehensive video by Angel's Corner. Angel does an incredible job clearing up all the small rumors and misinformation. Now, so far, so good. All of this really gave global fans a lot of hope. If the public opinion and the government opinion about global players and LADS are starting to change, maybe the mess is almost cleared up for InFold and we'd hear something soon from them, right? Everyone had their fingers crossed. I personally wasn't sure. See, we have absolutely no idea about the nature of the mess that InFold is dealing with, or whether their media blackout can end or not. So I had concluded that it can probably go on for a long time. There is also a possibility that we get absolutely nothing and it is going to be business as usual. Either way, we need to be patient. But the thing is, and understandably so, there might be a limit to people's patience. So, of course, when on the 3rd of August, LADS dropped the announcement for a new solo Caleb memory, things didn't look all that great. Now, does this change anything? Not really. The announcement for the card doesn't change the situation at all, as far as I can see. But the reaction from most players weren't a positive one. Many are neutral, including myself, like, hey, great, I get it, but I'm still boycotting until Valko is brought back. For others, they are really frustrated by the lack of communication. Now, to play the devil's advocate here for a little bit, I think I understand this move from InFold's side of things. They just want to keep rolling updates, keep the business going while they clear out the mess. They want to be like, hey, there's nothing to see, it's business as usual here. And it is probably a strategy that helps them keep up a clean image. But of course, this comes at the cost of the player base that feels completely ignored and neglected despite the efforts made to be heard. And the positive articles written by Chinese news media from before adds to the frustration because now it feels like the hope that these articles created was ultimately of no consequence. And this brings me to the part of the video where I express my personal opinions. Again, disclaimer, these are my personal opinions and I'm not trying to influence you. It is your duty to take all the information, critically think, and form your own opinions to guide your decisions. I personally think that we need to be as neutral as possible at this given moment. We should still take those news articles as huge positive developments because news report and the public opinion formed by them plays a huge role in this situation. We may not see immediate consequences, but they will definitely have a long-term impact. What we can do at this moment is to continue voicing our opinions in a clear, concise, and professional way without spreading misinformation or hate. We can continue the boycott, especially the financial boycott, since that is much more impactful for any gacha game. We just have to be patient and keep going. We have achieved so much, and I'm so proud to be a part of the global community who came together to do so many positive things. I also wanted to point you guys to this beautiful video made by one of my mutuals on Instagram and YouTube. This is a poem that has been read by girlies all across the globe, and it showcases artworks made by Let's Players. And I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to contribute an artwork of mine. Please show this video a lot of love, show the creator a lot of love. It's a beautiful initiative, and continue spreading love and positivity for Valko and making fan art and other fan content. Keep the movement going, and let's show them how protests can be peaceful and beautiful. That's it for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you received some clarity on the situation. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. But as always, please be kind to others and respectful in the comments. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like and consider subscribing to my channel. I'm starting out and it helps me a lot. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!